Hello folks, welcome to Entrepreneur Extraordinaire. So our new President Biden is trying to increase our taxes. My taxes, your taxes. Or is he? Well, there are all these videos, this video, that video, this video, all these videos talking about somehow Biden is going to increase our taxes. But is he really going to increase your taxes? Remember, none of the laws for tax bills have been passed by the Congress. And the only entity that can pass those laws is the Congress. And so far, as much as I know, and I live not too far from Capitol Hill, so what information I'm giving you, none of these YouTubers will be able to give you. Most Republicans are against it. Some Democrats are also against it. So that means that until those laws pass, we really won't have any tax changes. So Joe Biden has an uphill battle to get these bills to become a law. In this video today, we're going to talk about income, capital gains, healthcare, climate, energy, corporate taxes, single people, married people, all of it. Okay, we're going to cover everybody, and we're going to show you how these taxes impact you, impact me. Right. So who will pay the most amount of taxes? Who are these high income earners? What about the middle class? What about the lower class? What about people with kids? What about people with student loans? Who will fit this bill? Joe Biden is asking us to give the government $3 trillion over 10 years lifespan. $3 trillion with a big T. Okay? Would that be you? Would that be me? Would that be all of us? Stick around to find out. Hola, ¿cómo estás? Namaste, salam, konnichiwa, ni hao, kef halik, privet. To all my friends all over the world, welcome to Entrepreneur Extraordinaire. So I'm giving you a lot of information in this video today. I've done a lot of studying, looked at all the videos online, and read a lot of newspapers to give you guys a condensed version of the tax laws that Biden is proposing. Again, these laws have not become laws yet. So show us some love, okay? Drop us a comment, give us a like, give us a thumbs up right now so we can give you all this great information for free. These days, folks, information is currency, and that's why I'm here to present to you this information that you won't find anywhere else. Okay. So Biden wants to increase your taxes, but none of the Republicans are for it. A lot of Democrats are not for it. So who is for it? Who is pushing all these agendas? There are senators like Bernie Sanders, AOC, Chuck Schumer, Elizabeth Warren. Oh God, no. But Elizabeth Warren, AOC, and other folks are pushing this agenda to increase taxes. Why? Folks, there is a serious problem. Before I even talk about Biden's taxes, I must talk about why is he proposing those taxes. Okay. So we are in $3.3 trillion of debt, national debt. So what does that debt mean? Like, what does it mean? Who do we owe? Our neighbors or other countries, banks? Well, 70 to 80% of that debt is owed to Social Security and pension funds. That's where we owe this debt, majority of the debt. People who've been working all their lives, giving us every single check, Social Security, 12.4%. Those people need their money back so they can survive. They're 65 plus years old and they need something to survive on, and there's no money to pay them. The money will dry up by 2023. We also owe some foreign banks, Japanese banks. China has bought some of our debt from us, okay, in terms of investments. So we owe them some money. Bigger banks like HSBC, Deutsche Bank, they also have bought some of our debt or loaned us some money. And for those of you who think America is a wealthy country, well, it is a wealthy country in many ways, but it's also a very poor country. And let me put a chart up here so you guys can see we are the top 3 country with the highest poverty rates in the world. And I present to you this information right here so you can see I'm not saying it. And I think the major reason of this is, and this is my own personal opinion, our politicians are not that smart. I hate to use the word stupid, but I will be gentle and I'll say they're not that smart. Why? Because they use our money frivolously. Frivolous use of money on unnecessary wars, weapons of mass destruction, going and chasing down people. Anyway, I don't want to go there, but you get the idea. There's a sense of urgency in paying this debt out. And that's what the plan that Biden is proposing that you and I fit the bill for. The problem is this: if you give them $3 trillion over 10 years, okay, or give them 10 trillion or 5 trillion, what is the guarantee they're going to use this money to do the right thing? There could be wars, there could be pandemic, there could be, a recession, there could be a number of things. Your money will disappear. That's why I don't like this idea, okay? I'm going to say it right here. I don't like this idea, but I'm willing to go with it and show you guys how to work around it. Okay. So one might ask, what if we don't pay this debt? What happens then? What if we just say, you know what, we're not paying this debt? Who cares, right? Let's just not pay it, People will figure things out. Well, you will have a big problem on your hands. Why? Because 65 plus million people, it might be 69 by 2023, will be gunning to make sure they find each politician in Capitol Hill and their houses, and they will grab their necks and break them. I promise you, you don't want to mess with seniors' benefits. You don't want to mess with their Medicaid, Medicare, Magi, pension funds. You don't want to do that, because we'll have a tsunami of people on Capitol Hill, on the streets of Washington, D.C., that you will not be able to stop that storm, even with all the police in the world. So that is the problem. That is the reason why we must level up with these people who have given us their life savings, okay? And they don't have any other plans except their pensions. I present to you this information so hopefully you can understand the dynamics of this. This is not just Biden or somebody saying, I'm just going to take your tax because I'm a Democrat. It's not for that. There's a bigger reason for that. Now that you understand all of that, now let's get into the specifics of what he's doing and how he's doing it, okay? So I'm gonna give you some numbers and charts and figures, and I'll tell you who it applies to, who it doesn't apply to. So what Biden's plan proposes is that he will increase capital gains taxes, income taxes, payroll taxes. For those of you who don't know what a payroll tax is, I can explain in a second. Income tax is something that your employer pays, and payroll tax is something that you pay half and half with your employer and the employee. What Biden is saying that I'm going to increase by approximately 7% corporate tax, okay? 7%, which is not a whole lot. But here's a problem. Here's a problem. That tax gets passed over to the employee, right? How? I'll give you an example. I worked for one of the top consulting firms 7 years ago, and what did they do? The taxes went up, they cut down our benefits, okay? They stopped contributing more money to our benefits compared to the last year. When the taxes went up, our bonuses, our raises got cut down. So the employers will get you one way or the other, okay? Because you're an employee. Because you're an employee. Watch my other video about tax loopholes where I talk about the benefits of being on 1099. Folks, if you have a choice of 1099 corp to corp or W-2, always pick 1099. That's the best bet, okay? So all these taxes that he's socializing will get passed on to people making $400,000+. It doesn't matter if you're a corporation, it doesn't matter if you're a person making 400K, you may be a doctor, you may be a lawyer, you may be an investor like myself. If you make 400+K a year, you will get taxed. And in that tax, you have 12.4%, including old age tax, is what they call it, and also Social Security tax, okay? 12.4%. So that's in addition to what they're paying right now. He also wants to revert the income tax for the employers of people to 39.6% for high income earners, okay? So just keep that in mind, okay? Just some figures I'm throwing at you. I'm gonna talk about what impact it has on you, but not yet. What about the lower tax brackets, like the middle class? And they will still, and this is again, nothing is approved by the Congress, but they will probably get hit by another additional 1 or 1.6. Let's talk a little bit about what does $3 trillion look like. So I'm gonna compare $3 trillion to the stimulus package that just came out. That stimulus package had $1.9 trillion, which equated to about 300 million people receiving $1,400. So just to put things in perspective, right? The stimulus package and the $3 trillion over 10 years, it's not a lot of money per person, given that we are a population of 370 million people. Also keep in mind that 44%, and this is, you can check on entrepreneurextraordinaire.com, 44% people do not pay any taxes. That's a lot of people, okay? So the rest of us, the 57 or 58, 56% people are paying all the taxes. So that's why also the taxes have to be raised. So for the high income earners, again, the capital gains tax is 39.6%, okay? That includes, any money that you make in the stock market, investments, and also dividends, okay? They will get taxed. At present, we pay about 20% on the current capital gains, okay? But in future, it will be 39.6% if this law gets passed, if this bill gets passed by the Congress and becomes law. So it will be 39.6%, including the surtax, okay? He's also proposing that he's gonna stop your deductions and cap it at 28%, okay? Deductions is essentially anything that you can take off from your gross income to make it a taxable income, okay? So it could be your children's deduction, it could be a house deduction, could be a car going and driving to business and vice versa, business meals and so on and so forth. Those deductions are capped at 28%. But let's say you make $80,000 a year as household income. Well, you're already getting, married filing jointly about 24,000 or so deductions anyways, because you're married filing jointly. So your tax bracket is pretty low. So it doesn't really matter to those people if they are, capped at 28%, because your deductions might not be that high anyways. But for people who are claiming deductions up to 60, 70, 80, 90, even 100%, such as some investors or some lobbyists or some investment firms, they are the ones who are going to have to worry about the 28%, because 28% is pretty low for someone who's used to maybe claiming 50% deductions or 60% and so on and so forth. So deductions is really key. Now, hear me out. I present to you this information with great pleasure because there is some good news. And the good news is it's not all bad, okay? He is also proposing some really fundamentally sound and good things that are good for the country and will save you money in taxes to balance it out. And here's the list of those. For healthcare, for example, he wants to promote Obamacare. We all know that, right? This happened in Obama's time. It's going to happen again. For Obamacare, he's going to make sure that you do not pay more than 8.5%, which is phenomenal. For the cost of healthcare that we have right now, it's very, very high. There will also be a penalty for drug companies for driving the prices higher, compared to the market rate, compared to foreign entities. So if a drug is priced at $20 in Germany, but US is selling it for $100, there will be some penalties for drug companies. It hasn't been explicitly announced what they might be, but there will be some punishment for that. There will be immense credits, okay, for renewable energy. So anybody driving a Tesla, Chevy, any electric cars or hybrid cars, you will get more incentives, possibly even more than that you got in Obama's era. Why is that? Because again, Democrats, it's big on their agenda to drive renewable energy, climate change, clean the environment, fossil fuel, the whole 9 yards. You know the argument, right, that Tesla makes. So here's a tip for you. You can get that money back. You can get that money back if you invest in those energy stocks or energy companies that you think will prosper from this. Okay. You can also claim deductions in your taxes from these renewable energies. If you buy, for example, an Energy Star tagged appliance, a microwave or a dishwasher, they usually have an Energy Star tag on them. If you have that tag on your appliance, you can write that off in your taxes as a deduction. So there's also another good news, the Child and Dependent Care, CDDTC. I say that 10 times. CDDTC, Child and Dependent Care expense, has gone from $3,000 from Trump's time now to Biden's era to $8,000. That's a significant deduction, folks, for people, especially who have elderly people living in their household. So this is an immense amount of help. $3,000 extra every single year can add up to $9,000 in 3 years and so on and so forth. There is also a child tax credit for people with kids. So if you have one kid, your deduction used to be $2,000 per kid, but now it's $3,000 per kid. Not only that, if you have a 6-year-old or younger, you get an extra $600 on top of that. That I think is huge for people who have families, especially during a pandemic, who need some help, right? There's also talks about increasing the first-time home buyers credit. So right now, if you're a first-time home buyer, you get about $10,000 from the government for first-time buyers, okay, for Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac traditional loans. In future, if Biden's tax laws get passed, you will get $15,000 towards your first house purchase. For some people, it's a lot of money. You know, let's say you only have $5,000 and you get this $15,000 credit. Now you have $20,000 to put down towards your first house payment. So I think that's a wonderful thing. There's also talk about forgiving student loans, again in Biden's tax plan. And this is a whole $3 trillion over 10-year tax bill includes is forgiving some of the student loans, up to $50,000. $50,000. That's a lot of money for some people, right? Most of us have a lot of loans, or I had loans. I don't have any more, but you can also have up to $10,000 of loan cancellation. Loan cancellation if you have worked for the government. So that's another great news and great expense and deduction that you can claim on your taxes. If you have a car that's an electric car, if you have electric solar panel in your house, you will get immense amount of credits, and you should use those credits and leverage them to get all the deductions that you can in your taxes to lower your taxable income. Again, watch my video about tax loopholes that talk about how to save money on a 1099 through deductions, whether you have family or you're single, you're a business, it doesn't really matter. So I can go on and talk about Biden's tax plan, but essentially I want to tell you this. I want to wrap up this video today to give you another video, a part 2 of this same video, and go more in depth about Biden's tax plan, okay? And tell you how it's going to impact you. But here's one tip for you guys. It doesn't matter. We can't control, right? We can't control the powers to be. We can't control what Biden's going to plan, what the Congress is going to do, what the Senate will do. Will these bills get passed and they become law and they become a financial expense for you? But what we can do is be smart about filing our taxes, right? And that's why I present to you my services at entrepreneurextraordinaire.com. You can go there, sign up, talk to us, give us a call, or drop a comment here and ask us if you have any questions. There are many ways to save on taxes, even with the highest amount of tax bracket. There's always some room. It depends. Again, it depends. It's not as simple as black and white. You make 80,000 and then 24,000, you deduct and you make XYZ. It's the way you structure your taxes, okay? It's all about the structure, the business structure, the 1099 structure, the contract versus employee, having kids or not having kids, having a car or not, having a solar panel or not. I can go on and on and on and on about all these benefits. I have a list of 6,000 benefits just in Virginia that you can get at a local level, but please be mindful that there is a way around this, and if you like the video, if you think it's valuable, and if you're interested in part 2, don't go anywhere. There's going to be a part 2 released pretty soon, hopefully next week when I have some more time. At that point, you can check it out, but do give us a like, a thumbs up, because I appreciate you guys and your time is valuable. That's I've done all this research and I'm trying to help you guys not have to pay government all this insurmountable amount of taxes. Okay, so give us a like, subscribe to our channel for more good information, click on notification so you can see more valuable content, and I'll leave this video with a great joke, okay? Hear me out, okay? When it comes to taxes, some shut their mouths, some block their ears, some close their eyes, but they all pay through the nose. So with that joke, goodbye, c'est la vie. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.